So, I want to just talk about the data law for a second because this is something that's just, until it's changed, this is going to just, it would help a lot. Um, and what I'm talking about here is a legal up in the dog droppings, but public cameras, in other words, too. Now, when I was growing up, the councils could put cameras here, down, everywhere. They didn't need permission or anything like that. And they didn't have to worry about, this data protection and everything like that. They wouldn't put them up for no reason. Like, in League of Dublin hotspots, I know one of them, for example, it's way down the other side of Cavan. And the council put a camera up there, back in 2010. And they took it down, I think, last year. The reason why. Because the data protection law, because apparently, somebody told me this, and I'm not too sure, I'm not a lawyer or anything like that. I know the bare minimum of the law. But apparently, if you get filmed illegal up, you can sue the council for that because they didn't have any sign up or anything like that. But at the end of the day, the people who were doing it were breaking the law, and they caught a few people for doing it. Because they had it hidden in a washing machine or whatever. Which was a very clever idea from the local authorities. Because they had it in the washing machine, nobody expected it. And they didn't have a camera, they didn't have pictures and everything. And nowadays, the public can be sued for that. For putting a camera up without permission. Now, I know for my example, I got so many cameras put up and I leaked it up in hotspots. And because I just kept pushing it. And because standing around, in the middle of the night, because that's what I was going to do if they didn't do something. But they did something, so I was happy enough at the end of the day. Because it would have just had me standing around the areas in the middle of the night. And because, people who are leagued up and it's where you think people have things better to be doing in the middle of the night. Like from 12 o'clock onwards until around 6:30 in the morning, they're the most, hotspots of illegal dumping. And during them times. And then then mid morning, 8 o'clock to say around 9:30 or something like that in rural areas, you will catch a lot of people doing it. So they're the times you really not preferably during the middle of the day, you never see really many people doing that, only the stupid ones who probably will get caught. But yeah, the data protection law does affect it, even with dog droppings. I know we have two cameras put up in Brothers Butch. Just for general security and just general watching of cars going by and everything like that. Speed can watch everything. And it was hassle because they were like, oh, you can't do this unless they're visible. Because unless people can see the camera, because it can't be hidden. You like to yourself, what's the point of having a camera if you don't hide it? Because you have to catch people in the act of doing things. Because there's no point just patting them on the head and saying, "Oh, don't worry, we tell you when there's a camera. We won't. We don't worry. You can do anything you want when there's no camera. But when there's a camera, be a good little boy." Like it's just kind of been like that, and with a league of Dublin, it's crippling. The nice countryside we have, the nice mountains, the nice rivers, the nice lakes. And it's just making everything so dirty and so, like our island is so beautiful. And, people like this who do this, first of all, they don't care for themselves above anything else. They don't care about themselves. Second of all, they don't think that, the other people have to pay for, the taxpayer has to fund their habits, or their, expenses. But it's not fair on the people who pay their bin charges and get rid of the bin rubbish in a respectful way. It's just not fair, and the data protection law needs to be changed because that's the only reason how you're going to catch these people unless you have video evidence. Because there's no it's okay if Mary down the road sees this person dumping it, she have to stand up in the courts and say, I seen this person here at this time, but where's the proof? That's what the one judge I remember one time said to somebody. Um, like many people, every person I nearly caught for legal up never brought to the courts because they were caught very widely. And two of them were caught because I stood right behind them and watched them do it. And then they turned around and see me straight there standing in their faces. It was great crack. Especially because, it was like, you're coming with me now. And then one of them trying to resist. Which was even better again. Because they were caught for other abuse then. Um, So yeah, what was it? So there's the person, the judge was there. Obviously, the judges in this country are just a mess. And do you know what they said to the woman? Do you have video evidence? And she was like, no, I seen him. I seen him. His fan was on the road at the same time. But he was like, how can you say that? You could be framing this man. There's no camera evidence saying that fan was on this road at that time in that spot in that part of the country. So you see what you're up against. Because that woman, you hardly went out of her way. And there was a legal up in there, and she even said it, and even her neighbour said it, that the rubbish wasn't there until that van came down the road. And they just didn't have the proof. They couldn't go by their statements. Because that, at the end of the day, that couldn't really tell the jury anything, as the judge said. If you had a video, and then when you take a video now, I don't know how it is works now with videos and this, that, and the other. One time somebody did send me a video of a league it up, and that was not in Cavan, I was on the other side of the country. And I absolutely kicked the couch down there to move and do something. That was it actually was in Clare. And I kicked the couch down there to do something and to get the people to do it, get the people who were in the video. And that person, that person was charged. Thankfully, that was sorted, because they had the hard work. They only had to bring it to the courts, and straight away, because there was nothing in how they could say, oh, data protection or this, that, and this person broke the law. Simple as, the law can't be bended. Simple as that. But yeah, thankfully that person was caught. Because it was, because I put a lot of pressure, and other people put a lot of pressure on the councils to do something, the Clare County Council at that time. Because, there was video in his car, that cow he had, it was a red cow, it was in the video, and it was, because it was up, like it was in the town area, if that makes any sense. And he went outside the town a bit, and he ducked, and obviously the camera, because it was, this was early morning. But the person done the right thing and took a video of it. Because they couldn't say anything. They just couldn't, because they had the man there dumping the stuff across the field, into a field. They couldn't, the judge couldn't really say anything. And like, what could they say? Like, what could they say? Him just found it. Like, it couldn't be any more clear evidence to convict somebody like that. Having his license plate and everything, and having the man's face there, like, like, and then the one good, like, they didn't want anything to do with it at the council because they were afraid of being prosecuted and this, that, But anyway, that was sorted. That's back nearly a year ago now. But I just say to people, and I would say to people, if you want this to stop, if it's happening in your local community, to video somebody doing it. But yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more, and bye.